This story is from February 1948, and the location was roughly the same as where MH370 was last seen on radar in 2014. That is, the Strait of Malacca. This place is a thin maritime strip between Malaysia and Indonesia, through which thousands of ships from around the world pass. That day the weather was absolutely clear, the sea was calm, and the wind was perfectly pleasant as usual. Several American and British merchant ships were traveling on this very route. Everything was proceeding normally, but suddenly several ships present there received a strange signal on their radios. Welcome back to Money Matters videos once again, viewers. This strange signal received was in Morse code format. Morse code is certainly an old-school method of communication, but it was much more reliable than voice messages. Normally, if voice is transmitted over radio, it depends on distance, atmospheric disturbances like fog, dust and humidity, and the line of sight. And when there are disturbances, the audio message does not reach the receiver completely. Either it fades out or it reaches the receiver with significant distortion. In contrast, Morse code is a combination of dots and dashes that can be decoded at the receiver's end to form a complete English sentence. The biggest advantage of this message is that it can be sent thousands of kilometers away despite atmospheric disturbances. The Morse code that ships received in the Malacca Strait that day started something like this: 3 dots, 3 dashes, and then 3 dots again. This pattern was repeated twice, followed by a long series of dots and dashes. If decoded from Morse code, the initial part means SOS, SOS. The translation of the entire message goes something like this: SOS, SOS, request from the steamship SS Orang Medan for ships with shortwave wireless to contact a doctor immediately. That was the first message received. Then, without any wait, a second message arrived, and its translation was something like this: the second officer is probably dead. Other members of the crew have also died. Do not give medical advice. SOS, request for immediate help from a warship. After this second message, the Orang Medan sent its position and then sent a final message, which was probably incomplete. The last message only said, "I die," and the message ended. After this final message, a long silence fell. Radio operators on other ships immediately replied, but there was no further response. This silence persisted for the next several minutes, and it became clear to all the ships that received this message that something terrible had happened to a ship named SS Orang Medan. After receiving these terrifying messages, the nearest ship was an American merchant ship named Silver Star. The captain of the Silver Star decided to go to the location from which the signal came. He changed his course and began heading rapidly towards the SS Orang Medan. At first, he thought the ship might be sinking or had been attacked. After several hours of travel, when the Silver Star neared that location, they saw through binoculars that a merchant ship was indeed stationed there. As they got closer, the Silver Star's crew was stunned to see that the SS Orang Medan was in perfect condition. The ship was not damaged anywhere, nor were there any signs of it taking on water. It was just floating silently on the water. The only odd thing was that despite having a steam engine, no smoke was coming from the chimney above. The strangest thing was that there was no movement on the deck. Such a large ship, completely silent.
The captain of the Silver Star couldn't understand anything. He made several calls on the loudspeaker, sounded the horn, but there was no sound there except for the sea waves. Finally, the captain of the Silver Star decided to send a team onto that ship to uncover the mystery. When a rescue team boarded the SS Orang Medan, the atmosphere inside was quite cold, and there was complete silence. Meanwhile, their eyes fell on the first corpse. This was not an ordinary corpse. The man's face was twisted in terror. His eyes and mouth were wide open. It seemed as if he had seen an extremely horrifying sight at the moment of death. His body was stiff, and his hands were stretched forward, as if trying to stop something. As the rescue team moved forward, they found more corpses. Bodies were scattered all over the deck. The captain was dead in his place. Other officers were dead on the bridge. Even the ship's dog was found dead. That dog's death also didn't look normal. It was also stiff, and its mouth was open. The most surprising thing was that there were no signs of wounds on any of the bodies. No cuts, no bruises, no signs of any fight. There was just that same terrifying expression on everyone's faces. When the rescue team reached the radio room, they found the corpse of the same radio operator who had sent all those radio messages. His fingers were still on the Morse code key, in the same position as when he had sent the "I die" message. One thing was confirmed for the Silver Star's rescue team. Something very abnormal had happened here, because there were no signs of external injuries on the bodies, and everyone had died from sheer terror. At this point, they decided to tie the ship with ropes and take it to the nearest port so that a proper investigation could be conducted. Just as the rescue team began tying the ropes, smoke started coming from the lower part of the ship, cargo hold number 4. At first, it was just light smoke, but within moments, a fire broke out. This fire spread so rapidly that the rescue team had no option but to flee. They immediately jumped back into their small boats and headed toward the Silver Star, saving their lives. As soon as they reached their ship, a massive explosion occurred on the SS Orang Medan, scattering the ship's wreckage far and wide across the sea. In an instant, that mysterious ship, with all its secrets and those terrifying corpses, sank into the depths of the ocean. Now no evidence remained there, only the testimony of the Silver Star's crew members who had witnessed the entire incident. Because no evidence was available, many people called this a fabricated story, and some started creating conspiracy theories. Some researchers said that no ship named SS Orang Medan was officially registered. Lloyd's Shipping Register, which keeps records of ships worldwide, did not have this ship's name. However, on the other hand, researchers who believe in this incident argue that this was the period immediately after World War II. At that time, many merchant ships operated under fake names or were not registered at all. It's possible that SS Orang Medan was one of them, or it was involved in some illegal activity, which is why it wasn't registered.
Sometime later, in 1954, an article was published in Dutch newspapers describing this entire incident of the SS Orang Medan. It included interviews with some people who had previously worked on this mysterious ship. Among them were some crew members who said that the Orang Medan was used for smuggling illegal goods. That's probably why it wasn't registered. When attempts were made to trace the ship's owner based on their statements, the owner could not be found due to a lack of evidence. Many years after this incident, in 2003, the American intelligence agency CIA declassified some secret files, one of which was related to this mysterious ship, SS Orang Medan. It was a letter written to the CIA on May 29, 1958. In this letter, the writer detailed the incident and mentioned, "I am confident that if the tragedy of the SS Orang Medan is solved, the mysteries of many disappearing airplanes and merchant ships will be answered." Whether the CIA investigated this letter or not, it was kept in secret files for the next 45 years and then declassified in 2003. It is still available on the CIA's website today.
At the time, the most widely accepted and logical theory was that the SS Orang Medan was loaded with some dangerous chemical. Remember, World War II had just ended at that time. Japan and Germany had many deadly chemicals. It is said that this ship was smuggling these deadly chemicals, such as potassium cyanide or nitroglycerin. According to experts, if salty seawater mixes with potassium cyanide, it releases an extremely toxic gas. This gas enters human lungs and causes a chemical reaction, leading to immediate death by suffocation. This theory explains why there were no wounds on the bodies found there. Regarding nitroglycerin, it is an explosive chemical. If not stored properly, it can explode on its own. It's possible that the fire seen by the rescue team was the result of this chemical. Another angle is that perhaps this ship was carrying materials from Unit 731. Unit 731 was that terrifying Japanese Army unit that conducted biological experiments on humans. When Japan lost the war after American intervention, America wanted to shift their scientists to its side. It's possible that this ship was carrying those secret biological weapons or chemicals, and leaks along the way killed the entire crew. Because it was a secret mission, the ship was not registered anywhere, and when the CIA declassified that letter 45 years later, people's belief in this theory grew stronger. Another interesting point is that the Silver Star's crew reported that the atmosphere there was very heavy. The dog's death and its freezing in an aggressive posture indicates that perhaps it saw something terrifying there. This point turns the incident toward a supernatural mystery. The reality of the SS Orang Medan is still buried somewhere in the depths of the sea. We can only speculate. If we think logically, the chemical leak theory seems the strongest. Japanese war crimes chemicals, smuggling them, and a lack of safety took the lives of those poor sailors. This incident is one of the few events in the world that reminds us how many secrets the ocean holds within. Even today, when ships pass through the Strait of Malacca, old sailors remember the story of the SS Orang Medan. This story tells us that no matter how much progress humans make, they are still helpless before nature and fate. I hope you will like and share this video from Money Matters extensively. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next fantastic video.